Posted by you, Odd Albatross 7667. My 27F girlfriend, 27F, won't talk to me because I told her I am tired of taking care of her. Me and my girlfriend have been together for 3 years. We moved out together 1.5 years ago and I've been the sole income for a year now. When we moved out together, my girlfriend was working part-time at a well-paying job. The stress and toxic upper management negatively impacted her mental health, so we decided that she should quit her job to focus on getting better while I became the sole income. We agreed that she would take on the majority of the household duties as she would essentially be a SAHW. I work full-time and make enough for us to barely get by with the rent and other expenses. I took on another freelance job a couple months ago so we would have better financial stability. My girlfriend is diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety and depression. She's not on meds anymore because of the side effects that made her really sick. She goes to therapy once a week, but that's about all she's doing to better her mental health. Ever since she came off of SSRIs 8 months ago, her health was also steadily declining. She would get sick more often, be incapacitated most days and be in pain almost all the time. She recently started seeing a doctor for all these issues and now she's waiting on her specialist's appointments. But because she is sick most of the time, the apartment has become a huge mess. I pick up after myself and make sure there's no mess in the common area of our living space, whereas my girlfriend would leave things wherever and even throw trash on the floor. I try to clean up whenever I can, like do the dishes, take the trash out and clean up after our cats. But there's only so much I can do because I work almost 12 hours a day. I've become exhausted from working so much and taking care, comforting her whenever she's feeling sick, which is almost every day. I don't nag her to clean more because I understand that it's not her fault that she's sick. But because she's sick and mentally ill, she's also become a bit of a hypochondriac. She would Google any symptoms she has and immediately think she has cancer or some incurable disease and panic that we need to take her to the ER. We've been to the ER at least 3 times this year and every time it was not a medical emergency. The doctors and lab work found nothing wrong with her and they all said it was her anxiety. We had a couples counseling session today and I brought up how exhausted I am of working and taking care of her. Our therapist asked if I felt more like a caretaker rather than a partner and I said yes. I also said that I don't want to comfort her whenever she's feeling sick anymore because most times, she will lash out at me if I don't say the right thing. If I suggest something that might help her feel better, but she doesn't agree with it, she would say things along the lines of, "Why would you even suggest something as stupid as that?" Or if I touch her forehead to check her temperature without saying I'm going to do that, she immediately snaps at me and says, "Why would you touch me without letting me know? What the hell is your problem?" Because of how she speaks to me when she's upset, I've grown resentful of comforting her when she's feeling sick. She seemed taken aback by what I said during our counseling session, and after it ended, she silently left the room and texted me to leave her alone. She has been ignoring me all day and locked herself in our bedroom, and I am sleeping on the couch in our office. Am I wrong for saying to my sick girlfriend that I am tired from taking care of her? Her actions make it seem like I've really hurt her feelings. I still love her a lot and would want to make this work. I wouldn't mind picking up the slack more in our relationship if she didn't lash out at me whenever I try to comfort her when she's not feeling well. When she's feeling healthy and happy, our relationship is so good. We have so much fun together and have a lot of love for one another. I just feel like I'm nearing the tipping point where I'll end up lashing out at her if we don't work this issue out. What do you guys think I should do now? Continue giving her space and wait for her to approach me? TLDR. Had a couples counseling session with my girlfriend, 27F, where I, 27F, told her I feel more like a caretaker rather than a partner in our relationship, and now she won't talk to me. Now on to some comments before the update. Posted by Venture Birthday. Her needs are more than one person can endure. I got tired just reading it. She needs to get additional support. You are never going to be enough because it is too much. Dude OJ killed responded with, legit couldn't finish reading because it was so draining. This is not a good situation for op. Yletrix responded with, agreed. That was an exhausting read and I skimmed. Posted by Schrodinger's Dogo. You never wrong for saying how you feel in therapy, as long as you're being respectful and honest. That's what therapy is for, to talk about the hard stuff. I'm sure it wasn't easy to say and that it must feel even worse now. But don't let it discourage you from using therapy the way you should. Or else what's the point? Maybe you can text or email the therapist about the situation. Anyway, I'm not a professional, but I feel obligated to write to you that relationships should be a give and take. Sometimes someone is stronger than the other, and that okay, and even necessary, to rely on each other, but that can't be a permanent fix. You can't help someone who doesn't help themselves, and you are right to be tired. I'm sure there's plenty of good to your relationship, and you're an amazing partner for staying by her side. But I don't think it's for the best for either of you to keep enabling her to not take care of herself and require the best from herself. It's good that you're in counseling, and that you're being honest about your feelings. Good luck. Spent_Leaf responded with, I agree with everything you have said, but I do believe Appa's female. Posted by Horgans, I understand how you feel. My ex had depression, PTSD, and ADHD. She was unmedicated and not in therapy for almost our whole relationship. I was a caretaker for her. I was the reason she woke up for work. I drove her to work because she wouldn't get a driver's license. I reminded her constantly to do basic things. I did schoolwork for her. I filed her taxes for her. I would even wash her in the shower. At first it was fine, but then it got to be way too much. I had my own stuff going on. I was working multiple jobs and a full-time student. But I was always focusing on taking care of her and it was so exhausting. I eventually broke up with her after a long time of debating. Because of all I had to do for her, I felt like I'd be a bad person if I left. I felt that by leaving I was abandoning her and setting her up for failure. But eventually I realized that by doing everything for her, I was enabling her. And I was tearing myself down in the process. And I had no romantic feelings left for her. Like you, I felt just like a caretaker. So, I broke up with her. After I broke up with her, I started seeing someone new and we started dating pretty quickly. My boyfriend and I live together, and it's been amazing. He gets himself up for work. He does important stuff for himself. He cleans without being told. I am so much happier with him. I feel like a respected and loved partner instead of a caretaker. I kinda rambled because this is a topic that hits very close to home. You can't help how you feel. You should express how you feel, just in a respectful way. When you say saying like that, it's going to hurt their feelings. No one wants to hear that's how their partner feels. But it really needs to be said. It's unfair for you to hold that inside to make her more comfortable. Your comfort and happiness matter too. But she needs to really work on getting herself better. It's very unfair to you to bring in all the income and do all the work at home. That gets so exhausting, and it kills attraction. And once the attraction is dead, it's so hard for it to come back, if it does. You are a partner, not her caretaker. I hope she gets the wake-up call she needs to make changes and work on herself before it is too late. Now on to the update. We had a discussion over text message as it seemed like my girlfriend did not feel ready yet to talk in person. She told me that she has a lot of PTSD from when her relatives died due to health-related problems. She said that every time she doesn't feel well, she gets flashbacks to when her relatives died within the last 5 years. This explains why she has really bad anxiety when it comes to her health. She told me she had been trying to figure out where all her anger comes from and cope with it, but because of her fucked up upbringing and all the grief she's felt recently, it is hard for her to prioritize her anger management. She said her feelings are hurt because rather than ask her why she feels so much anxiety towards her health, I waited until I brought up how I started feeling like a caregiver in therapy. She said I never asked her why she gets so scared whenever she's in pain, and I never asked her if she worried a lot about her health due to her family history. She even said something along the lines of how she pressured and nurtured me into believing in myself and my career, and now that I'm working so much, I no longer see her as a person. Then she went on saying that she truly wishes she would disappear without a trace and me and her family would have no memories of her so we can be much happier without her. She's isolated herself in our bedroom again and I am left with these thoughts on what she said. I honestly don't know what to do. I need more time to think about what she said.